What's the one thing you hate about being a man? One thing that I dislike about being a man is the fact that I am bald. I used to have a head of hair that I enjoyed running my fingers through. But now that it's gone, I miss those simple pleasures. When I was a teenager, I grew my hair out because I knew that I would eventually lose it. I miss the feeling of wind blowing through my hair, the sensation of playing with it, and even the slight protection it provided against bumps and scrapes. Additionally, I miss the way my hair acted as a natural cooling system, preventing sweat from pouring down my face. Cabinets are a constant thorn in my side since my bald head is more prone to scrapes. One thing that I dislike about being a man is the feeling of invisibility. While it can be an advantage in some situations, such as being able to go about my day without interruption, it can also be isolating. Nobody acknowledges my existence or asks how I am doing. And if I have problems, I have to deal with them on my own. This can be mentally draining and demotivating at times. I often feel starved for positive attention, not just from women, but from anyone. The last time I received a compliment about my appearance was from my grandmother, over 15 years ago, and I believe she was drunk at the time. I talked about this with my wife a few years ago, and she found it sad and strange. Since then, she has made a point to give positive feedback to her coworkers. The first time she did it, one of her closest coworkers was taken aback, as he couldn't remember the last time someone had said something positive to him. I have experienced this firsthand when walking with a friend one night. A drunk woman from a nearby pub gave a whistle and said, "All right, gorgeous." I turned to my friend and jokingly said that I didn't know if the comment was for me or for her, and she immediately assumed that I had just been catcalled.
"What did you call me?"
While it may seem insignificant, it made me realize just how rare it is for men to receive compliments, and how much it can boost one's self-esteem. The fact that I can unintentionally intimidate or scare others, particularly women and children. I remember a specific instance where I was waiting in my car for my wife, and the person in the car next to me quickly got into their car and locked the doors upon seeing me. It made me realize that my appearance or actions might be perceived as threatening, and it's not a good feeling to know that I might have made someone feel unsafe. It's a reminder that I need to be aware of my surroundings and how I might be perceived by others. I was sitting in my car, enjoying a hot dog before heading to work. A woman parked a few spots away from me, and when I glanced in her direction, I noticed her giving me a wary look. I sat there for a while, and when I left, she finally got out of her car. It's frustrating because I didn't do anything to make her feel scared, but it's clear that my being there made her uneasy. The societal perception that men who show an interest in children must have nefarious intention. I genuinely adore children and enjoy spending time with them, whether it's playing games, reading stories, or simply listening to their thoughts and ideas. However, because of the negative stereotype, I often feel hesitant to express my love for children and even avoid situations where I might be seen as babysitting or playing with them. It's frustrating because my intentions are pure and I just want to share my joy and enthusiasm with these innocent and creative beings. It's a constant reminder that as a man, I am not free to express myself in the same way as others. As a man, one thing that I find frustrating is the societal perception that men should not be interested in working with children. As a primary school teacher, I have faced some assumptions that I should be teaching at higher grades, but I know that children at this age need positive and emotionally stable male role model, especially if they don't have it at home. Despite these misconceptions, I choose to ignore them and focus on the joy and fulfillment that comes with being able to positively impact the lives of young children. When people assume that just because I am a man, I am automatically able to do physical labor or am interested in certain things like sports or women, it can be quite insulting and demeaning to be reduced to those stereotypes. On the other hand, I also dislike being perceived as a potential threat to women. I understand that some people may be afraid of me because of my size and appearance, but it is not a feeling that I enjoy experiencing. I dislike the assumption that because I am physically strong, I am also capable of handling heavy workloads or physical labor. Even though I may look healthy and fit, I have certain health issues that can limit my ability to do certain tasks. I understand that people may not be aware of these health issues, but it can be frustrating to constantly be expected to push myself beyond my limits. It's important for people to understand that just because someone may look able-bodied, it doesn't mean they are able to take on everything thrown at them. I hate the discrimination and exclusion I face as a single father. My son is often left out of social events and activities, such as park meetups or birthday parties, simply because I am a man and do not fit in with the other parents. Despite my role as a loving and devoted father, I am often judged and excluded based on my gender alone. It can be frustrating and disheartening to feel ostracized and dismissed in this way, but I continue to strive to be the best father I can be for my son. I have faced situations where I have been excluded from events like park meetups and birthday parties for my son, simply because I am a man and not a mother. This type of discrimination and assumptions can be hurtful, and it's not fair that I am judged based on my gender rather than my ability to be a loving and responsible parent to my child. I have even faced accusations of being a potential danger to other children, simply because I am a single father. It is disappointing that society still holds these stereotypes and biases against single fathers. One thing that I struggle with as a man is the discomfort I may inadvertently cause to women when I am out in public, particularly at night. I understand that my physical appearance and societal stereotypes may make them feel uneasy, and it makes me feel bad knowing that my presence may be causing them distress. I can't help but feel like I should say something to alleviate their concerns, but I am aware that my actions may not be perceived in the way I intend and may even make the situation worse. It's a difficult and complex issue to navigate, and it's something that I wish wasn't a reality. I hate the way that I can make women feel uncomfortable when they are out alone at night. I understand that, as a man, I may be perceived as a potential threat to their safety. This can be seen in the way they might walk faster or try to give me a wide berth. While I don't blame them for feeling this way, it still makes me feel bad and like I should try to alleviate their concerns. However, I know that any attempts to do so could potentially make the situation worse, such as saying, "Oh, don't worry, I'm not going to assault you." It's an unfortunate reality that I have to navigate as a man in society. I dislike the societal expectation that men should always be the ones to initiate romantic interactions. Whether it's approaching a woman to start a conversation or asking her out on a date, there's a lot of pressure on men to make the first move. This can be especially frustrating when dating apps like Bumble try to reverse this dynamic by encouraging women to initiate conversation. But in my experience, that just leads to a lot of unresponsive "hey" messages. I think it would be nice if there was more equality in the dating game, where both men and women felt comfortable making the first move and not being judged for it. One thing that can be challenging is the constant pressure to maintain a certain demeanor, even in difficult situations. For example, not receiving apologies or compliments can be disappointing and make one feel undervalued. At the same time, it is often expected that men must remain accountable and suppress any anger or vulnerability they may be feeling. These societal expectations can be tough to navigate and often leave one feeling frustrated. Additionally, constantly feeling sexually aroused can be distracting and overwhelming. The societal pressure and expectations placed on individuals based on their gender. It's ridiculous to witness people who advocate for equality, but then turn around and make sexist remarks, such as assuming someone is capable of fixing a car simply because they are a man. This type of thinking is unacceptable and reinforces harmful gender stereotypes. Individuals should be able to pursue their interests and passions regardless of their gender, and to not make assumptions about their abilities based on societal expectations.